Hayward Podworks. 100 shows, one vision.
Our sources explain it all. For more information on upcoming shows or to suggest shows, email brianhayward2026@gmail.com. And now let's get into our show. Hayward Podworks is vision, deep dives into any topic.
We're living in this age of just constant digital noise, aren't we?
Oh, complete.
Every notification, every email, it all pulls you into the immediate, and those big fundamental dreams.
They get shelved.
Exactly. They get pushed out. It's like our sense of purpose just gets eroded by all the static.
That's a perfect way to put it. Goal atrophy. And that's really why we need something tangible, an anchor. And the tool we're diving into today, the vision board, it's really the perfect antidote to all that chaos.
It seems so simple, though.
It is. It's simple, it's creative, and honestly, it's one of the most effective ways to keep that long-term vision and sharp focus.
So our mission for this deep dive is to really unpack how this tool works. We've got a great stack of sources in front of us. We're going to get into the science, the philosophy behind it.
And then give you a really practical guide on how to build one and, more importantly, how to actually use it to make a real difference.
Okay, so for anyone who's maybe heard the term but isn't quite sure, what exactly is a vision board?
Well, at its core, it's just any surface. A cork board, a whiteboard. You could even use your computer desktop, where you put up images and quotes that represent your future.
What you want to be, what you want to have.
Exactly. And who inspires you. And its real strength is that it's completely customizable. I mean, whatever your goal is. Starting a business, getting a degree, finding a partner, the board is tailored just for you.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Let's start with the big question. We're all told to write our goals down. Why is a board full of pictures so much more effective than, a list in a notebook?
That really gets to the heart of it. It's about how our brains work. A written list that engages the language part of your brain, but a picture...
An image hits differently.
It hits differently, yeah. It bypasses all that and goes straight to your emotional and visual centers. It's like a cognitive shortcut.
So it's less like a to-do list and more like, a navigation system?
A self-correcting navigation system. That's a great analogy. First, it forces you to get really clear. You can't just put a vague idea on a board. You have to find a specific image.
Which makes you really define the goal.
It forces you to define it. And second, because you see it every day, it becomes a kind of filter. So when some new distraction comes up, you subconsciously weigh it against the pictures on that board.
Does this get me closer to that house, or is it just noise?
Precisely. And that's what we mean when we say it wires your brain to recognize its importance. It's this constant, gentle affirmation happening in the background.
And before we get into the heavy science, the sources say this is for everyone, right? Not just for CEOs and entrepreneurs.
Oh, absolutely not. It's a fantastic tool for kids, for example. Making a vision board can be this really fun, creative family thing. It helps them put a picture to their dreams, whether that's getting better at a sport or a school subject. It makes ambition feel real.
Okay, let's get into the mechanism. I think a lot of people here visualize success and their skepticism alarm goes off.
Sure. They think it's a fad or just wishful thinking.
Right. But we have two very different schools of thought on why this actually works. Let's start with the science.
This is the part I find fascinating. It's all about how visualization physically changes your brain. And the key thing to understand is that your brain, it's actually pretty easy to fool.
What do you mean?
It doesn't do a great job of telling the difference between a really vivid, repeated visualization of something and an actual memory of something that's happened.
Hold on. So if I keep visualizing myself achieving a goal, my brain starts to log it as a memory, as something that's already done.
In a way, yes. When you consistently look at that board and you feel the emotion of achieving that goal, your brain doesn't file it away under hopes for the future. It starts building a new neural pathway. It's laying down the tracks for that memory to become your reality.
So how is that different from just, self-delusion?
That's the critical part. Delusion is passive. This kind of visualization is active. It generates real drive. If your brain thinks the destination is a given, a memory, it gets creative. It starts actively looking for ways to line up your current actions with that achieved past.
It starts solving the problem for you.
It starts solving the problem. And there's this incredible study that really grounds this in hard science from the Cleveland Clinic Foundation.
Right, I read this one. It's amazing.
It is. So they had one group do actual physical workouts. Another group just did visual workouts. They sat in a chair and just imagined in detail doing the exercises.
Okay. And the physical group?
They saw a 30% increase in muscle strength. Pretty standard.
And the group that just thought about it?
This is the amazing part. They saw a 13.5% increase in actual physical muscle strength.
13.5%. Just from imagination.
Just from imagination. Their brains sent the same neurological signals to their muscles as if they were actually doing the work.
Wow. That's incredible. The brain literally started making the physical change just based on the mental input.
Exactly. And the vision board is just the simplest, most powerful tool to give your brain that consistent input.
That is a very, very compelling scientific case. But to be fair, a lot of people approach this from a completely different angle, more philosophical.
The law of attraction.
Right, let's talk about that.
The basic idea here is that everything is energy. Your thoughts are energy. So positive thoughts attract positive energy, which then manifests as positive outcomes in your life. The book The Secret really brought this into the mainstream.
And it often talks about manifesting, a new car or a specific amount of money.
It does. Now, it's important to make a distinction here. In physics, a law of attraction is a real provable thing, like gravity.
Sure.
But applying that law to human thoughts, creating complex physical outcomes, that's not something that's been proven by empirical science. It's really more of a philosophy or a spiritual belief.
So we have the proven brain science on one hand and this philosophical framework on the other.
The bottom line is you don't actually have to pick one. Whichever one resonates with you, it doesn't matter. The psychological benefits alone, the motivation, the optimism, the resilience are more than enough reason to do it.
Okay, that is the perfect transition into the practical side. Let's say someone listening is ready to make one. Where do they start? Materials.
The materials are so simple. You just need a board. Maybe 20 by 30 inches is a good size.
A poster board or something.
Poster board, cork board, whatever you have. Then just glue, scissors, and your images magazines, your own photos, or stuff you print in color from the internet.
And what about the prep? Do you just start cutting and pasting?
No, the planning is the most important part. You have to take some time to reflect and get really, really specific. Don't just find a picture of money. If you have a financial goal, find an image of the exact dollar amount you want to save.
Or if it's a house, find a picture of the exact style of house you want.
The exact style in the neighborhood you want. Vagueness is the enemy here.
When you're picking those images, should it all be about the final goal, the destination, or the journey to?
The best boards have both. You definitely need that big, inspiring picture of the outcome. The diploma, the beach in Bali, whatever it is.
The thing that gets you excited.
The thing that gets you excited. But the sources also say to include images of the steps. So if you want that diploma, put up pictures of people studying, of the campus. It validates the hard work.
Makes sense. What about how it looks? Does it need to be a neat organized grid?
Absolutely not. It can be a chaotic collage. It can be neatly divided into sections for career, health, finance. There's only one rule. When you look at it, it has to fire you up. It has to make you feel that spark of motivation, and make sure to personalize it. Put a photo of yourself on there. Write little messages on it.
Yeah, it brings up a good point. This is a really personal thing. What about placement and privacy? Should you hide it if the goals feel too big?
Well, the number one rule of placement is that you have to see it every single day.
Non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable. So put it on the wall opposite your desk, put it on your fridge, put it next to your bed so it's the last thing you see at night. If you need it to be private, that's fine, but you have to make a commitment to look at it daily.
I can see a problem there, though. If I see the same thing on my wall every day, after a while, I'll just stop seeing it. It'll just become background.
That is a fantastic point, and the sources have a really smart trick for that. They call it the advanced placement tip.
Okay.
Because you're right, we do become blind to things. So the tip is to move the board every 10 days or so. Put it in a different room or on a different wall. It forces your brain to notice it again, and you get that fresh hit of inspiration.
That is a great little hack. Okay, so we've built the board, we've placed it. Now for the most important part, the daily ritual. How do we actually use it?
You need to set aside at least 3 to 4 minutes. And this can't just be a quick glance. You have to really engage with it.
So what are the steps during those 3 or 4 minutes?
It breaks down into 4 key actions. First, internalize the images. Don't just see the picture of your dream office. Imagine you are already there. Feel the pride, feel the accomplishment.
Live the feeling of it being real.
Yes. Second, read any affirmations or messages out loud with conviction, in the present tense, as if it's already true.
You're telling the story with you as the hero.
You are the star of the story. And third, embellish it. Add sensory details in your mind. What does that new car smell like? Who are you talking to at that book launch? Make it vivid.
Okay, that makes sense. What's the 4th step?
The 4th one is often forgotten, but it's crucial. Immediately after visualizing the future, practice gratitude for what you have right now.
So you're grounding yourself.
You're grounding yourself in positivity. Gratitude creates optimism, and that primes your brain to believe that the future you just visualized is actually possible.
I love that. You can even make a little ritual out of it, right?
You absolutely can. Light a candle, put on some music, make it a calm, relaxing moment. It connects your goals to a feeling of peace and self-care, not just stressful ambition.
One last practical question.
Yeah.
What if you have goals in like 3 or 4 big areas of your life? Career, finance, health.
Yeah.
Do you cram it all onto one board?
The sources generally advise against that. It can dilute your focus.
Too much going on.
Yeah, it's too much visual noise. The better approach is to create separate, dedicated boards for your top priorities. Maybe start with a career board for a few months, really focus on that, and then build one for your financial goals.
So, I'll pull this all together for our deep dive. The vision board is this really simple but very powerful tool. It works by tapping into visualization, which is backed up by some serious science on how we can rewire our brains.
That's the perfect summary. And the first change you'll see isn't external, it's internal. You'll start to feel more hopeful, more focused, more motivated. And that new mindset is what fuels the actions that gradually make those pictures a reality.
Which brings us to our final provocative thought for you to take away. A vision board isn't a static monument. It's not something you make once and it's set in stone. It should be a living, breathing thing.
It should evolve with you. You're completely free, and you're encouraged to swap out images, to add new ones as you make progress, or even as your dreams themselves change.
So the final question is, what part of your vision needs an update today?
Hayward Podworks. 100 shows, one vision.
All right, this is Hayward Podworks, and that's today's episode. If this helped you, do me a favor, hit follow, leave a quick rating, and share it with one person who'd get value. Want the extras, links, and new drops? Check the show notes. Until next time, stay sharp, stay consistent, and keep building. Hayward Podworks. We'll talk soon.